Hi, love. Welcome back. I hope that your week is going amazing, amazing, amazing. And let's talk about being open and expressing gratitude. Now, I was thinking about and contemplating over what exactly it means to be open. And for me, it felt more like an action than a feeling. Being open to me, in my experience, has been displayed more through taking action. I think when we think about openness, a lot of the time it can feel like a feeling. I feel like the feeling of openness is really gratitude. And to express our gratitude is when we are really being open. So if gratitude is the feeling, then openness is the action. Because when we feel grateful, we're basically holding space for whatever it is that we're receiving. And in order to take it all up and experience the whole thing, we have to be open. And then that openness, the action of openness looks like grabbing and going into everything that is open to us to experience. It's really taking advantage of what is open to us to experience. And gratitude and gratitude and openness definitely can lead to one another. They can I feel like I'm feeling a bug, guys, but there was just some buzzing. But I feel like both can lead to one another. So gratitude is just, for me, it feels like acknowledging my blessings. And how can I not acknowledge my blessings without being open to go and receive more, to go out there and experience more? When we think of someone who's open, they're down for certain things, they're open to different experiences, and they're open-minded, meaning they don't really, meaning they're open to exploring new things. So when I was thinking about openness, I was coming up with ways that I have been open myself and ways to be more open. And that's what led me really to thinking about gratitude, because when I have been open, I have then became grateful, or I have been grateful and then been open. So like I was saying, they can both lead to one another. And then every time that I was open, it led me to feeling successful. It led me to feeling successful because I had done something new. I had challenged myself and come out victorious. I had done something I'd never done before because I was open, and then I felt success because it worked out for me. And here are a few ways to be open. Ask and you shall receive. Asking for help is a huge way to be open. When you ask for help, you are letting other people be able to lead you to a certain outcome. And when asking for help, it is important to also accept it. I feel like that's also a part of being open. You can ask for help and then be closed after that by not accepting that help, by saying, oh, whatever this person said might be wrong. I can do it better. I can do another way that's better. But when you ask for help and you're open to accepting that help, you're putting your guard down, you're allowing yourself to experience something new, and you're combining your brain with someone else's, because what they have to think about something, which is probably why you're asking for help in the first place, is going to be different than what you think, and it's going to open your world up to different possibilities of what can happen. So ask and you shall receive. You will receive things that you never thought about. This has happened so many different ways. One notable way, very recently, as in a couple days ago, is I was out and about looking for food. I'm in a new space and things are very new. Okay, everything is new here. All right. To give you a hint to where I am, I'm gonna say welcome in the way that they say welcome here, which is bon mini. Bon mini. So, bon mini. And yes, let's chat. Let's continue chatting. So, I was walking around. I'm like looking for food. I'm so hungry, and it's hot, y'all. I'm sweating, and I almost gave up. I was like, all right, there's no food around here. It's getting late. The sun's about to go down. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I could call a cab. So I was gonna walk back to where I was staying and call a cab or a taxi and then allow them to take me there. Right? So right when I was walking, like leaving, I'm hearing music and I hear a car pull up. In this car, I take a look because they like passed me. There's a few women they're black like me. And so that already gave me a certain level of comfortability, right? I'm like, okay, this black woman, they're playing music that I recognize. It was probably early 2000 something like that, R&B. I'm like, okay, they know this song. These seem like my people, right? And I was gonna continue walking because I was like, you know what, I'm already have my plan. I'm gonna go back to where I'm staying and just call a cab. But then I was like, wait, there's no way that these women pull up right next to me, and they actually stopped right there. They stopped. So when I turned around and was able to walk back to them, they had parked and they were doing whatever they were doing. And so I was able to speak with them. But I was like, how ungrateful, right? How closed off, how not open of me it would be to not take advantage of this experience that God is opening me up to right now. God is over here sending me people, and I'm not gonna take that opportunity. So I turn my butt around. I say, do y'all know anywhere I could get food? And they were like, you know, what kind of food do you want? And then they started like speaking to each other in a different language. And then one of them was like, you can get in and we'll take you somewhere. And I was like, oh, God. I was like, God is so good. God is so good. So that's one example of asking and you shall receive. And how being open really, oh, BB, get away from me. Get away. Get away. Bye. Please, I'm making a video. There's two of them. Okay, but yeah, that's one example of how being open can actually lead you places and feeling grateful, right? And asking and receiving. So, ooh, it is hot out here. Okay. So being open also means gaining from new experiences, even if it means being uncomfortable. So even if it means being uncomfortable, right? Like sometimes you're gonna have to do the opposite of what you're used to. You're gonna have to take the short route instead of the long route, or take the long route instead of the short route. Brush your teeth with your left hand instead of your right, vice versa. So many different ways that you might be uncomfortable in doing the opposite of what you're used to, but that's a part of being open because you're expanding yourself. So being open is about expanding. And here's another example, right? And it goes back to this taxi thing. It's easy for me to order a taxi, easy, but there is a bus system here that I can learn. I'm sweating bullets. And there's bees. I don't know what I'm gonna do, guys. I'm gonna have to wrap this up. But there's a bus system. So I decided, all right, I got instructions from this woman on how to use the bus system. So I decided, okay, instead of taking the easy route, doing what I would do, I'm going to be a little bit uncomfortable, do the opposite of what I would usually do, and take the bus, learn the bus system. And so I took the bus. I learned it. I waited for the bus. Although they're irregular, I waited. It didn't take too long. And one crazy thing that I do, and I've been doing this since I lived in DC, if the bus is taking too long, I literally will set a time that I'm gonna leave. So I'm like, if it's 5:13 and the bus hasn't come out, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna wait till 5:20 and then I'm just gonna go. Every single time I've done that, the bus has come either at the time or before. And I just love that. It's pretty cool. But yeah, I did that with the bus because I was waiting. I was like, all right, if the bus doesn't come by this time, I'm leaving. I'm getting my butt in a taxi. But it came. And it was so pleasant. The windows were open. I was able to see the town. I'm able to see like, okay, I'm here. I'm familiar with this. This is more of the city center. This is more where people are. This is more where things are populated, things are popping. And I see that, the island is split like this, and so the buses go from here to here, or you could go to the port and it goes from here to here. It was so much of a learning experience. So being open is really also about, like I said, trying something new, even if it's uncomfortable, because that will expand your mind. It will bring you new knowledge and new skills that you didn't have before, right? This brought me a new skill. I'm able to see things easier now because I was able to see, because I also had my map in front of me looking like where I'm going, if I'm getting closer to where I'm staying or not. So I'm able to see like, okay, this part of the island is here. If I go this way, the bus is going this side or this side. Just so much to learn, and there's so much to gain when being open. And I felt successful getting back to this door because I had done something new. I had been open, and it just made me all the more grateful, right? So another way to being open, and this kind of all just intertwines, is experiencing a little pain now for a greater pleasure later. The little pain in that scenario, and in both scenarios, right? I start with the first one I mentioned. The little pain was like getting over, when I asked those ladies for help, it was getting over that pride, getting over I can do it by myself, bringing myself back into my body and saying, okay, I'm all right. Like, I'm all right. I can ask for help. What's the worst that can happen? Right? So that little bit of pain of just pushing past my comfort zone led me to so much pleasure. I wish I took a picture of the food, but I was just so happy and so much in the experience when I had the food. This was like the first thing I ate all day, that I was just eating, and I was like, I'm not gonna bring my phone out here because I want to just enjoy this food right now. I didn't take a picture, but I would have showed y'all. It was actually Chinese food. So good. And I was just like, you know what? I'm so glad that I asked them for help. And they were kind enough to let me in, speak to me, teach me more about the language, taught me more about the people here. They were telling me, one of the women was telling me about all the rappers here. I was like, okay. But yeah, like, it was just cool. It was so cool. And then second, the little bit of pain was being in the unknown of I don't know where the bus port is, or I have to remember the directions that I received to get to the bus port. And that little bit of pain brought me so much pleasure, because it was like, okay, I'm you know, this is my home. I felt like, okay, I'm from here. I know how to take the bus. But yeah, I'm still in my beginning stages, obviously, but yeah, just, okay. So my phone just is too hot. It gave me a temperature warning, so I'm really gonna have to wrap this up now. One of the last tips that I have for being open is to be present and use all 5 of your senses. When you're present and using all of your senses, you're able to tune into your own world, but also the world around you that everyone else is experiencing, right? You see the other things that people are experiencing, hear them, smell them, touch them, taste them, feel them, all those things. So be very present, and that will allow you to be more open, because you'll be able to see and hear and experience more. Don't be in your phone or thinking about other things. Be where you are, and you'll be better able to be open and experience gratitude. They go hand in hand, and that is the secret to success. So, have a beautiful day. I love you.